How's it going, everybody? My name is SkyWillDie, and I have made a severe and continuous lapse in my judgment. Because I recently asked you for every idea that you had for a tech data pack. But it turns out that your ideas are, well, very stupid. But I still tried my hardest to do every single one of them, whether they're good or bad or really bad. Most of them fall into that last category. So join me as I make some of the best and worst ideas I have ever goddamn seen. So this first suggestion comes from Cray, who has told me to actually texture the things, because this, I mean, it's a very simple, untextured texture, but like, just imagine how funny it would be if I spend weeks, I put all this work in just to have this very simple texture. So, haha, no textures for you. But I think it's worth mentioning that I do already have these 3 machines made. I made these in the last video, and oh, Astral already made textures. So anyways, now that I have these very fancy textures that I made all by myself with absolutely no help whatsoever, let's move on to the second suggestion, shall we? This next idea comes from Magic Meowkins, who tells me to make a little teleporter. Now, this isn't the only suggestion that Magic had, but this is one of the ones that I chose. So if we charge this little teleporter up enough, you can see that it starts to have a little dust above it. So this will teleport us to the nearest teleporter that is within, I think, 15 blocks? Yes, 15 blocks. So if we set up a second one here, then you can see that we get teleported on over. And if we set up a third, then you can see that it actually teleports you to the closest one within that 15 block range. So then, instead of teleporting us over there, it'll teleport us to this one, which does mean that you can make an incredibly long chain of these. It'll just take you a while. So this next one comes from my very own mind, and it is this little block right here and that little block right there. Because if I place this little grass block on this little block, then you can see, uh-oh, it's on that little block now. And if I place another one and then break that one, whoa, it jumped. Because this is the block sender and the block receiver. This can literally move any block in the game, even chests that have stuff in them. So you can see the stuff went with it, and yes, this does mean that it can move those blocks. Those ones that you're thinking of, I know which ones you're thinking of. It can move those. Because I mean, if Mojang isn't going to patch the bedrock breaking, then I might as well make it easier. This one is also from Magic, from that exact same message, in fact, and if I were to remove this block, which is blocking the laser, then you can see that it starts to emit particles, and starting to get a bit rainier. And then as soon as a block is put in front of it again, it stops emitting particles. And would you look at that? The sun is coming back out. But if you extend your setup to give yourself even more power, then you may notice that this time the clouds, they seem to get a little bit darker. And that's because once you hit 100 laser power being put straight into this little box, yeah, it starts to thunder. Now let me block this off before I get struck by lightning. And for any of you wondering, there is a level above thunder, but I'm gonna let you figure that one out for yourself. And if you thought that one was overpowered, then have a look at the mana weapon, which looks pretty harmless. You know, it's just a little guy until you again power it from the bottom, and suddenly these particles start showing up. And if I go into survival mode, I have negative 100,000 score. How did that even happen? And not only this, but if I power it up even more, then the particles change a little bit, but yeah, now it's even worse because I have Nausea too. Again, negative 100,000. How? By the way, this particle thing is actually a glitch, but don't tell anybody. It's a feature now, okay? Just ignore it. Ignore it. Ignore it. Now, this next one is a bit different. It was suggested by Netum, and if you see, we have all sorts of colored glass here. That's because although when lasers go through regular glass, they stay the same color, if you have any other type of colored glass, then that laser will change into that color. So you can see, as we finish going down the line, we have all sorts of different colors, and then we have tinted glass, which makes it actually go invisible. And just to prove that it is still here, yep, it is there, and it goes straight through here. But not only that, tinted glass can also remove color from lasers, giving you this only white segment of laser, and then it goes back to the regular cyan. And yes, the cyan glass is slightly different from the baseline laser. It's really hard to tell. Look, I get It is really hard to tell, but those are 2 different colors. I swear, I'm not crazy. They're 2 different colors. I made sure of it, though it is really goddamn tough to tell the difference. All right, we only have 2 more to go, but before we get to those, I mean, if you've gotten this far, don't forget to like and subscribe, all that stuff. Come on, comment, join the stream. You obviously like my content. All right, let's get on to it. And let's start the beginning of the end of your ideas with this one, which caused me so much trouble. This is still a very glitchy block, if I'm being honest, but this is a mob detector. If you power this up enough, then it'll shoot out this red laser, and if you step in this red laser, then that red laser will bounce back as a blue laser. And then you can see it gives a comparator output. And then we step out and it turns off, and then it turns back on, and then it turns off, and then it turns back on. And because of the interaction that this has with redstone, you could, in theory, make a mob detector that then immediately kills them. Oh my gosh. Still with the negative 100,000. What the heck, Minecraft? And of course, each time I die, I respawn in this absolutely amazing ice castle that I made with a bunch of magic command blocks and that sort of thing, which you should check the video out for. But you know, that's just a suggestion. You don't have to look at how I made this really cool door and all the really cool things. You know, you don't have to. Oh, and by the way, because I'm stupid and forgot to mention it, this idea comes from The Alert Company, who, along with all the other idea makers, will be credited in the description. Anyways, moving on to the final idea, which is, of course, the Fuldsimifer. The Fuldsimifer? The Fuldsimifer. It's that one thing from Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs that makes all the burgers fall from the sky. You know the one. And if I'm being honest, this one is probably my favorite. Look, all the burgers are falling from the sky, and you can see if you look down at my hotbar that my hunger bar just went up significantly. This absolutely amazing idea was by the Purple Gerbil. This is easily one of my favorites. I love it. And this is completely unintentional, but I genuinely love the way how some of these splat on the ground, and then some of them are completely fine. It's like, it feels like the movie where they all splat in different ways. And again, it's completely unintentional. I have no idea what causes it. They should be falling while playing the little animation. But, I don't know why it doesn't. But with all of these machines done, I have one more surprise for you, and that is that you will be able to play this data pack for yourself. It is survival friendly, and it will be in my Discord. So join the Discord for that to learn how to become an absolute laser master for yourself. But with all that being said, thank you all so much for watching. I have spent a month on this project, so I hope you enjoyed it. See ya!